What's been happening to all those people who were forced to leave Afghanistan after the takeover of the Taliban, the crowds we saw at Kabul airport and on the borders with Pakistan? Well, MPs, refugee charities and other civil society groups have sent a letter to the government saying that they want a Homes for Afghans scheme like the one being offered to Ukrainians. Thousands of Afghan refugees in the UK are still staying in government-funded hotel accommodation. Anna Adams reports.
So, welcome to our room. So this room has 2 beds, so the double one. So it has 1 toilet and has 2 small windows and 1 cupboard, 1 TV.
This father of 6 has been living in this hotel since last August. Like many Afghans, he had to flee the Taliban because he was working for the UK government in Kabul. This is the room he shares with his wife and 2 daughters.
Living in the hotel is really hard with the children. We were told that we will be in the hotel for a few weeks, but 7 months already has been passed. So I don't have any idea how long we will be staying here. We just have this hope that they will please give us a home as soon as possible. Please just take us somewhere from the hotels.
We can't use their names or say where they are because even here in the UK, they still live in fear of the Taliban tracking them down. He's one of 12,000 Afghan refugees living in hotels all across the UK. It costs the Home Office around £1.2 million a day. But like everyone else we spoke to, he's desperate not to be a burden.
We don't do anything here. So this is why life is getting bored. If they give me a house in any part of the country, I will not reject that. Any job is welcome. I would work in a shop, anywhere. I don't want to be burdened on government anymore.
It's really difficult to lose your financial stability, your career, your life, your country, your family.
I spoke to a mother who had a senior job in the previous Afghan government. She only agreed to be interviewed if we stressed how grateful she was. She's living in 1 room with her children and husband.
To thank the UK government for saving our life. It's a big thing that we are here. Big chance that most of the Afghan people do not have it. But the thing that we are just thinking about is being for a long time in hotel is something like that we feel tiredness of that. If it would be possible that they should rehousing us as soon as possible, that we should start our life. Yeah, staying in a room with my children. They really missed Afghanistan. All the time they are saying that, Mama, please go back to Afghanistan. Let's go back to Afghanistan.
The Home Office said it has already found homes for 4,000 evacuees, and hotels, it says, are a short-term solution. But with homes in such short supply across the UK, it's looking unlikely that these Afghan refugees will be able to truly start their new lives here anytime soon.
Anna Adams reporting. Well, we're joined now by Damien Green, Conservative MP for Ashford in Kent, former First Secretary of State, one of the people who signed the letter. Good morning.
Good morning, Martha.
And you have a hotel in your constituency, don't you, with a number of Afghan refugees. Have you been hearing similar views as the ones we just heard in Anna's report?
Yes, pretty much. I mean, I've obviously visited there a few times, and most of the people there are hugely impressive and very employable. And I think most of them want to get out. Though 1 or 2 of them have refused some offers of housing, so there is that element as well. But in the end, the bigger problem is that some of them are offered jobs. They can't take them up because they haven't got a permanent address. So, if you like, the short-term ask in our letter to Michael Gove, which is that we should resettle these Afghans faster, would actually help them get them off the public purse, as it were, help them in their lives to advance to get a job. If they have a permanent address, a lot of them are very employable and will get jobs quite quickly.
And we've seen amazing generosity, haven't we, from the British public to offer up their homes for refugees, and you hope that would be the same for people from Afghanistan.
Yes, it's not quite the same because partly the family groups tend to be bigger than the ones coming so sadly out of the Ukraine. So I don't think you can simply adapt Homes for Ukraine into Homes for Afghans. But because of the idea of having either corporate sponsorship or maybe military charities, some local councils and so on, acting as kind of super sponsors, I think that would help the Afghan refugee problem, and in particular the thought that you could maybe have groups of families settle somewhere, which would make it more likely that they would accept those offers if they had some friends around them.
What the government says is, as Anna said in her report, they have provided homes for more than 4,000 Afghan refugees, and 300 local authorities have pledged to support Afghan families.
Yeah, local authorities are doing their best, but I mean, put that in perspective. There are nearly 20,000 Afghan refugees here, so in 7-8 months, we've only permanently resettled 4,000 of them. It's going to take a long time. The hotel contracts are being extended in some cases until the end of this year, so people will be looking at least 18 months living in a hospital, living in a hotel, which with children is clearly unsuitable. One of the
As
other,
we heard from one of the mothers there, didn't we? And also very expensive, I imagine.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's as you say, it's costing the Home Office more than £1 million a day, i.e. costing all of us as taxpayers more than £1 million a day. So one of our other big long-term ask is to have a permanent resettlement system. So we're very good in this country at reacting to crises, being generous, and also our government machine actually throwing together things quite quickly. Now's the chance, because we can see, sadly, these are not one-offs, that we actually set up a permanent resettlement system which we can flex in response to an individual crisis so that it's sitting there ready to go. I think that would make life much easier for refugees and also, in the end, cost the taxpayer less money.
And finally, you said that it wouldn't operate in the same way as the Homes for Ukrainians. Just give me a practical example of how you think it could work.
Well, I think it could work if you asked faith groups, military charities, businesses, civic groups to organise the permanent relocation of Afghan families actually to...
So they'd find the houses, would they?
They would find or rent the houses and do it in an organised and structured way with some reasonable financial support behind it. And that would enable it to happen much faster than it's happening on the individual basis it's happening at the moment.
Damien Green, many thanks. What's been happening to all those people who were forced to leave Afghanistan after the takeover?